Hi there, guys. Welcome to this webinar supporting you during the back to school period. Now, whether you're watching this and you're already back at school or you're back in the classroom getting it ready for students, or if these students are even back in already, this is designed to help you during this period and just to show you a bit of the tools and resources we've got available that can support you in this area. So what are we looking at today? We're going to be looking at updating users and groups, obviously making sure our users, all of our students are updated and ready for the new academic year, and they've all got their logins for EducationCity. Assessing and analysing learning gaps, always an important one there for the start of the new academic year. And then a couple of tools and resources we've got for the back to school period as well. So I'm going to head into EducationCity. Do remember that the account I use for these webinars is a made up school, so please don't worry about any names, any data that you might see is all completely fake. And it is also an English account, but if you're watching this over in Scotland or Wales, you might see some differences. There won't be many, but I will point them out as we're going through there as well. Okie dokie, into EducationCity. Here we are logged into my account. Now, the other thing you might notice is it might look a little bit different to the one that you're logged into. And that's because you might be on our classic view that looks a little bit like this. Absolutely fine if that is what you prefer to use. I just prefer the new view. I think it's got a better flow to it, and it's got some fantastic resources, and those are curriculum map tiles there for you as well. So if you do want to follow along on the view that I've got, click on the ribbon just there and it will bring you to this page. So starting off with, we talked about users and groups, and that you will find is in the manage users area just here. Now, whether you've got an administrator for the account, or if you've got the ICT coordinator, or somebody who enjoys updating all the resources and things like that, whoever is doing this, just make sure that obviously your students are updated for the new academic year. And it is really, really simple to do. First thing I'm going to ask you to do is find your leavers, whether they are your year 6 or your P8 children going up to the next academic year or going into P8. What we're going to do first, as soon as we've downloaded that data or everything that we want, we've passed it on to the new teacher, we're going to delete these users. Easiest way to do that is find them via their class name as they appear just here. Select the box there so they're all ticked. Head over to actions and you'll see delete is at the bottom there. Once your leavers have been deleted, that will give you the space to update your year 5s to year 6, year 4s to year 5s, so on and so forth, and adding in your new EYFS students there as well. And again, the easiest way to do that, it is so easy, is this upload and edit button just here. Now, the benefit of this, you can export a CSV file, you can download your users and pop them into a spreadsheet. As long as it is in this order, as you can see across here, unique ID, first name, last name, so on and so forth, then you can upload it through this area here, whether copying and pasting or uploading via this button over here. Now, we do have a sample spreadsheet that lays out the correct order for you if you wanted to input your data into that first and then pop it on here. One thing I will tell you, and this is really important, you need to make sure that the usernames or the unique ID or both remain exactly the same for every single student. That way the system will recognize that John Smith, this is his unique ID, this is his username, and he will get replaced with the John Smith that's now in the next year group, keeping all of the data from the previous academic years. And that's so important. Otherwise, you will end up with multiple John Smiths on your account. So do make sure unique ID and username remain the same. And once that's done, simply click next, work your way through these stages, and that's it. It really is that simple. So easy to do. And there is a video, if you head over to our YouTube page, there's a great video that will talk you through every single stage there as well. So really handy. I just refresh the page just there, get all my users back. There they are. But yeah, head over to YouTube, type in Education City, and you'll see all of our previous webinars. Or you can obviously have a look at our webinars on our website, so www.educationcity.com. You'll find all past and upcoming webinars there as well. Now, while we are here, remember, we've updated our users. We've obviously got to make sure that they've all got their passwords, and you can obviously print off everybody's passwords if you want to do that, or we can sort via class, so they're in class order, or obviously you can search just for your class. Just make sure that the box is ticked next to the name, head over to actions, and you can print their logins, or you can print off a parent letter as well, which is really handy. Actually explains to parents how to log in and gives them a bit of an insight about their child's or children's login page there. Okay, heading over now to the groups area. So we've obviously got our blue area, which is sort of the admin area. Going to head over to groups. There we go. And you'll find all of your previous groups are still there from the past academic year. And it's always a good idea to have a bit of a spring clean, to work your way through, get rid of any group folders that you no longer need. So let's get rid of this one, for example. Click in the box next to it, actions, and delete. And that's just really handy. You can have a bit of a spring clean, but remember, you can keep your groups as well. If you want to just update them, you simply have to click into those. You've obviously got the students over here. We can find the new students in 4BJ. There we go. Again, searching via that student list just there. So they're now in 5VR. Really clever, that one. And we're just going to select a couple of those students to move over. And then obviously we can delete the ones that we didn't want in there as well. Remove those just there. So really is a great way just to keep updating, as opposed to deleting and starting all over again if you want to do that. And remember, you can do that throughout the year as well. So ability groups is a great example of being able to upload or update your grouping areas. Okay, just going to save that one just there and head back to the home page using that home button in the top left-hand corner. Remember, your My City folders, always a good idea to have a bit of a spring clean there, or a new academic year clean. And remember as well, you can obviously keep ones that you wish to keep. So if I wanted to keep, for example, my planning when we did the secret garden, here it is down here. I can keep all of these. I can update them and use them again for the next academic year as well. So you don't have to start from page one. You can obviously upload and edit, and obviously you can republish as well. So if I head into this particular folder, we can see that's currently published. This one over here has expired. So we could head in there, head over to students, and all we're going to do down here is remove these students, clicking on the X. Or if we head into the groups function, we should be able to find out which group has received this. Maybe a group I've deleted, so not a problem. And then we can reassign it to certain groups. Just make sure you save as you're going along. There we go. So do have a bit of a spring clean just there. And also have a look at some of our new resources. We've got some great things on here. One massive change for this academic year. If you are in England, you will absolutely love this. The EYFS framework has been updated on Education City. So you'll find all of the new unit areas and objectives. Absolutely fantastic. All the resources, they were already on there, but now they've been realigned to those new objectives. And remember, when you're here, you've got that lovely bit of colour coding again. Love a bit of colour coding. And you've got that plus sign again to add to my city. What we are going to do though, we're going to head back onto the homepage using that home button, because I want to talk to you about assessments and analysis. Now, if you've used EducationCity assessments before, they are fantastic. They are marked automatically, so you've not got to worry about marking. And all of our formative and unit assessments even create independent revision journals. So these are completely individual to each child in your class, and they're filled with resources based upon the questions that they've gotten incorrect. So for the start of the new academic year, it's a great way to A, see what any gaps that lie from the previous academic year, B, to start with a bit of home learning practice if necessary. So creating those folders via the system from the assessments, and that gives them something to work on automatically. It's so easy, and it obviously gives you a bit of an insight into each of your students there as well. And the easiest way to do that is via this tile just here. Set an assessment. Obviously, I've got my class now. They've moved up to 4 EMJ. I'm going to click onto next, and I can set them an assessment for year 3. So my year 4 class is getting an assessment from the year below, because I just want to see what they're capable of. Now, obviously, we can alter the subject, and remember, all of the assessments are aligned to the curriculum that you follow. So when you're logged in here, it might not look exactly the same, or you might not have the same titled ones as you can see here, but they are all mapped to whichever curriculum you follow. There we go. Let's go for an English one. Why not? And we're going to go for punctuation and grammar, I think. So I'm going to click onto next. I'm going to pop the date in. So my students are back. There we go. The week beginning the 13th. So let's pop it for that week. You can see I've put it for 5 days just there. And instead of putting punctuation and grammar assessment, it's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? So instead, I'm going to call this English quiz. A little bit more informal there, so it might be a little bit less stressful for my students. And I'm going to pop the date in just there that I've set it for. A, to remind me of when I've set it, because my memory is appalling, but it also gives me that insight if I decide to repeat the assessment, particularly one if you're doing year 4 assessment beginning of year 4, you want to repeat it further on down the line. It gives you that option to look at comparative data. So I'm going to set that just there. Next, and obviously finish, that will create that My City folder for you. Assign it to those students between those dates. There we are. If we're heading to the classwork, you'll see that folder of work just there now. There it is. Okay, once those have been marked, remember both those and the activities are marked. The success tracker is where you'll find that score. So you're really able to analyse who's where the difficulties are amongst your class. And we can pop the date in just there. So if you're looking at all of their work over year 3 in preparation for year 4, or you just want to look at, the summer slide just there, you can obviously pop specific dates in here as well. I'm just going to go for a random date. There we go. And now I've got all resources that have been completed from the very first time they logged on to EducationCity until now. And if we click onto year, you can see year 2, year 3, year 4, all the way down there as well. So it really is helpful. A, make sure you've got your users updated. B, make sure that unique ID or username remains exactly the same. And C, make sure your children have their login so they can log in, complete these resources, and obviously give you the data that you need. Now, what I'm going to actually do here, going to look for year 4. I'm looking at these multiplication tables checks. If you're in England, Remember, we've got those great mini assessments for multiplication tables check, and those are in the times table area. Have a look at those. And we can click onto any of these, look at the answers children gave. Now, this is something I've always done with my class. If they don't understand the question or they're struggling, I always got them to put 0, because that was an indication to me they've not tried and got it wrong. There's no misconceptions there. It's just that they don't understand the area. And the MTC does lend itself really, really well here. So we know that Kinsley over here, Kinsley really needs to work on the 8s and 9 times table, or the 8s and 12 times table just there as well. We see 8s again struggling with, 9s again struggling with. So these are the areas that Kinsley needs to work on. And if Kinsley has another go and beats that score, we can always print them a certificate off. There we go. Remember, all of this data can be edited. So you can look and edit those columns. So you can look at any objectives that have been met, for example, and it can be exported to an Excel spreadsheet. So absolutely fantastic for compiling that data. And you can even look for each child. So let's have a look for Brandon. See what Brandon's been doing the previous academic year. And we can export this data purely for Brandon. So we can begin to kind of compile that mental view of Brandon's academic successes, and we can sort of really begin to pick out what does he need to work on in order to improve on those weak areas. There we go. So really, really great resources for assessment and analysis just there. And what I'd like to tell you about now is a couple of the resources that we've got that will really, really benefit you during the first couple of weeks of term. I'm going to head over to the search content over here. And the first thing I'm going to search for is this great series called Story of My Life. Now, this is mapped to year 1. Doesn't mean you can't use it in other areas. So I'm going to look English. There it is just there. And it's a great little series. Go for this one just here. Each of the 4, let's mute that for a moment. Each of the 4 comes with up to 7 different scenarios. So if we head in here, these are obviously scenarios relating to the playground. And we can click on any one of these. So let's go for this one just here. We can click onto that and you've got this scenario in front of you. And this is talking about Manu over here. He misses his old school, his old friend, his old teacher. If you've got a new student in your class, these are absolutely perfect because it looks at why this particular student, Ben in this case, sorry, not Manu, why Ben missed his old school. Why did he want class to start again? And then asking children, have you ever been in that scenario? If you were one of these children here and you saw Ben on his own, what could you do to help him? So it's great for that whole class discussion, great for getting children talking to each other and sharing their opinions and their views. And great if you're a 2, 3 or 4 form entry and you've got a class that maybe has been assembled from 3 different classes the previous academic year. Children might not know each other. So it's a great way to kind of get them to know each other there as well. Do have a look at those. And there's some great resources for PSHE and wellbeing. Again, another that I really, really like is this one, How I Feel. And great for the first week of term because you're looking at how you're feeling and why you might be feeling that way. So because it's a think it as well, it poses that question, why might you be feeling that way? Maybe you're nervous about the first day, maybe you're excited, maybe you're looking forward to seeing your friends again, maybe you're a little bit scared about what might be ahead for that year, but this is so good. So do have a look at those resources there as well. Lots of tools, guys. However you search for them, whether it's in the subjects area, the search, or within the great curriculum map over here, there's some fantastic resources there. And just to give you a bit of an insight as well, I'm going to head straight into science. We've got some fantastic tools for investigations. You know me, I love a good project. So I absolutely love investigations as well, because I do think it's a great chance for children to show off their individuality. So have a look at a couple of those. You can use the topic filter just there as well to filter it right down. And you can look at something such as keeping fit. Let's start the new academic year keeping fit, and let's investigate why it's important to keep fit. And you can see there's a couple there that link to keeping fit as well. I do hope that has been beneficial to you guys. I really do hope so. Remember, you've got the Help Centre just here that has got some great PDF guides, as well as those links to those user guides on YouTube. That one about updating users is really, really helpful. And our past webinars you will find here as well. And if you do need to get in touch with us, top right hand corner, click on that, you'll find our contact information there too. Just before I leave you to it, times table, that will link you to the times table bundle and that all important multiplication tables check, that mini quiz that will assess multiplication table knowledge, as well as obviously our phonics bundle, our Play Live games. Come on, if you've not used the Play Live games before, great for teamwork, absolutely fantastic for teamwork. And if we scroll down here, let's click onto games. Just to give you a quick example, you've got the English one that's kind of like a giant game of Boggle, and then you've got those 4 different calculations there. So addition, subtraction, multiplication and division, 5 of them per year group, and these will really get children involved as well, competing against each other. If you get a chance to go into the ICT suite, get them to compete against each other, build up that sort of fun competitiveness amongst your class. So you'll find that on the homepage there as well. So that is just about it from me today, guys. Don't forget, if you've got any questions, you can always get in touch with us. And a great bit of information here, if your school uses Marvelous Me to support engagement, you can now issue EducationCity badges. So good for both student and parental engagement there as well. So if you want to get in touch with us, there's our email address, customerservice@educationcity.com, and that website I mentioned, www.educationcity.com. You'll be able to look at our free downloadables, our free printables, previous webinars, as well as upcoming ones as well. Keep your eyes open for our CPD accredited webinars. And if you can't make those dates, don't worry, because we do offer free CPD training as part of your subscription there as well. And if you want to know more, obviously you can get in touch with me, customerservice@educationcity.com. So have a great first term of the new academic year. Really do hope it goes well for you. And I hope to see you at future webinars. But until then, take care and stay safe. Bye-bye.